You know what? Things in my life changed a great deal when years ago, it was in the dark days of the real estate crash, the Great Recession back in 2008, when I suddenly realized that it wasn't me against the world. It was simply me against me. And that has a lot to do with mindset. So I've had a fairly stable mindset ever since, pulled a lot of the ego out of my day-to-day thought processes. And guess what? I've been so much happier since then. So speaking of ego, as you're just babbling on with your philosophical statements, you're losing ground on your SPY trade you were going to do before the end of the day, 2:56 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 minutes to the ring-a-ding-ding, 3 minutes to the ring-a-ding-ding, and it is a battle. It is a battle royale. Should have made my trade here, but what are you going to do? What you going to do? Should have made it right here when you click record and then started talking about words. Just saying a bunch of words. No, really, that's true, though. Once I realized that it really is a battle of our own minds as far as our joy, our happiness, our success, the love that we find. Just as my very first mentor in life, Mr. Rogers, once told me, we all want the same things, and that is to love and to be loved. And that holds true, my friend, Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's just put this trade on. Let's go for it. You could do it, Bart. You could do it. Let's do it. I'm looking at some weird experiment with around 14-day to expiration credit spreads. Put or call, but you know what I like to do on those calls. I swear to you, I'm going to put some puts on soon. Put some puts. Boots and cats and boots and cats. Let's go out. I've got a what? I have a 13-day and a 14-day. Let's go with that 15-day to expiration and see what we can do on a call credit spread. So if we sell a call and we're looking to be around the 15 delta, so it'd be right around there. There's a 17, nearly 18. So if we put that on the board at 424, right? And how far you want to go wide? Let's just roll the dice and take our chances. Let's go all the way up here to 436 dollar bills wide on this credit spread. Oh, you did it again, didn't you? One of these days, you're going to press the wrong buttons, and that's how you're going to finish the trade. So we've got this call credit spread, 1 minute to go. Let's make the trade. 66 credit. Let's go with 2 on the table. Let's put 2 on the table. We're going to have to, if we're going to fill it now, let's just fill it now. $134 credit, $1,200 in collateral. Let's see if we can fill that as we speak. We got 1, we got 2. So 2 filled, $67 credit, right? 67 divided by the $1,200 in collateral, 5.5% in 15 days divided by 15 equals, got the abacus, for the annualized return of 135%. Now, that sounds great, doesn't it? It certainly does. 135% annualized return does sound great, but we do have the risk. We have that risk on the board. So we're going to, hey, there's the bell right now as we speak. Who rang that? Oh, I think that was old Yahoo Finance. They like to sneak in their audio to me from time to time, even though I have them set to mute. So we've got that going for us. That was our trade of the day, our final trade of the day. But I do want to say this because I'm very excited and interested. If we go on over to the YouTube, and let's go to like maybe one of the most lovable channels currently on the YouTube, the Wealth Snowball. We go to the Wealth Snowball, click through, and believe it or not, that looks just like me. Actually, that's more handsome, a little more handsome. My head is about that proportion to my body, though. So, ain't gonna lie. Juggling machetes in downtown Cabo San Lucas. That was at an intersection right there. And let's see, do we have this on the mute or no? Where is the mute? There's the mute. So yeah, we were sitting in a van. There was about six. How many dudes do we have? I think six guys watching this guy at an intersection trying to collect some dollar bills by juggling machetes. Got that going for him. And then we went on a ATV trip. So that was a good time. It was a good time had by all. But I wanted to go here just to show a couple of comments that recently came up that I thought were very nice. Very good. And both of these were on Valero Energy when I put those puts in place, sold a couple of puts on Valero, risking $62,000 bills. If we look down here into the comments, load those comments up. Brian Smith, he may have just changed my life by adding another tool in my very teeny tiny tool belt, but that tool belt will grow, I promise you. Just curious, Brian says, why you don't use more spreads to free up more collateral to earn interest. You can always close the lower leg for a credit and roll the top leg if needed. Your profit percentage also rises. Hello. So I responded, did you just change my life? and did we just become best friends? Woo. I know what you're thinking. You're laughing, you're rolling your eyes, you're yelling at your iPhone. Come on, Bart, wake up. I'm slowly going to wake up. I am now, what am I? Let's see. I think my first trade was on November 21st, 2022 inside my Vanguard brokerage. And now it's middle of April. So I've got all kinds of experience racking up, but I will continue to add tools to my tool belt. But I was thinking about what Brian said with regard to how I like to make some trades. In fact, let me read this because Muhammad says that he loves Valero stock, one of the safest stocks out there. And I replied that this stock has treated me very well. And I love to trade options on Valero. And you know what? Else collect those divvies. And Muhammad responded, that's one of my biggest holdings, and I do the same. So that's very nice. Thank you so much for the comments. Those mean a great deal to me, and they help with the old beep, boop, boop, R2D2 algorithm on the YouTube. But regarding the credit spreads in general, because, for some reason, I've done credit spreads on Tesla and Google and Amazon and things of that nature, but I never really think of it much. I usually only think of it with regard to trading SPY or QQQ. But with these types of trades, such as a couple that I put on yesterday that you hopefully watched, tuned into, enjoyed, viewed, like these 89 Amazon puts, why wouldn't I have done credit spreads there? Because I don't necessarily want to own Amazon in general. I will, that's part of my Wheel of Fortune strategy. In fact, actually, Amazon is just the wheel strategy because there's no dividend. That adds that triple nipple, that third leg for me in regard to the Wheel of Fortune strategy. But I could have used it on Amazon. I could have used it on that Tesla trade. I could have used it on the Valero trade that I made today that he made the comment on. These Amazons here, the Costco trade, et cetera, because I'm not necessarily trying to put my way into those shares at this point in the current years. I don't know. What do I want to say about this economy? Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but I have fears involved because I still lived and think and have post-traumatic stress disorder with regard to the Great Recession. Now, I shouldn't use those words because there are people that actually have PTSD, and it is a serious condition. But I do have haunting memories of how I felt during that time. Like when I typed up boop, boop, boop on my computer, the plan I had called the White Bronco. And the White Bronco was simply a getaway plan. I was going to pack up our family in my wife's Dodge Grand Caravan minivan, and we were going to drive down to our condo in Bonita Springs, Florida, because at the time I had a BMW Corvette and a big house on 40 acres along with 115 rental units, a Dairy Queen, a condo in Southwest Florida with a car there, golf clubs at both houses, and every single thing that I had, including all of the real estate, etc., was up to my eyeballs in debt. So when the music stopped and I looked around and I was the one skinny dipping, hey, did you just put two little sayings together? I did. So the tide went out and I was, don't say it. You're going to say free balling it. Or yeah, I was, but the tide went out and I was naked essentially. So I have lived through a lot of trauma, and so maybe I'm by nature a little conservative. So when we have a market like we have today with its uncertainties, instead of being more neutral, maybe I do have a bearish slant, even though I think I'm a bull. I don't know. Actions speak louder than words. But thank you so much, Brian Muhammad. I love the comments. Keep them coming. Thanks for tuning in on this experiment with the spy. It is a 2-week-ish experiment, like 14 days out of. So if tomorrow I go out another day from that trade, what would that look like? I think that's the weekend though that comes up after that. So if I went out, I know don't hold me to the exact days of this. I just want to get some of these on the board based on the theory of a 10 to 20, so around a 15 average delta, 14 days out, with a fairly aggressive spread between the sell and the buy. What kind of action can we get if our thesis is sideways to down, and we're doing a call credit spread? It is a bearish trade. So yes, indeed. So yeah, that next move would be Cinco de Mayo. So we may look to put that trade on at the end of the day tomorrow. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the AM. I'll check in the AM, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, watch every video you can get your hands on at the Wealth Snowball. Share it with a lovable friend, and I'll see you in the next video.